Today we're going to be talking about noun and verb phrases. So we're continuing these grammar lessons that we've been having throughout the semester. And the point of this is I want you guys to be able to first identify and second write your own noun and verb phrases. So putting this into your writing and recognizing it when you're reading. Alright, so I know that you can do this because every single sentence, every single complete sentence that you guys speak throughout the day has a verb phrase and a noun phrase in it. So this should be not too bad. You guys will be able to figure it out really well. So what we're going to do, I'll just give you a quick overview. We're going to review the definitions of the parts of speech that we're going to be talking about. And then we are going to learn some new ones and the definitions of the noun and verb phrase. Then we will practice as a class, and then individually, and then as partnerships. All right. So does that sound good? All right. So let's talk noun, verb, and phrase. We're going to define each of those. Do you guys remember from the lessons that we've had previously? What's a noun? Let's start with that.
A noun is a person, place, a thing, or idea.
Oh, very good. Next,
Michael.
Raise your hand.
Sorry.
Yes.
Michael's verb. Noun.
Yeah, Michael is a noun. Good. All right, so you guys have a pretty good grasp here of what a noun is. Let's go on to verb. So what's a verb?
Verb is an action word.
Raise your hand. Yeah, Michael.
A verb is an action word.
Good. Can you give me a little bit more detail? What kind of action?
It describes something that you're doing, primarily, or being.
Oh, good. Yeah?
The helicopter shot down the other helicopter. With Michael in
Exactly.
it.
What's the verb in that sentence?
So the verb
Shot.
in this is perfect. Yeah. All right. So you guys have a pretty good grasp here. So this one's a little more difficult. What's a phrase? You got any idea?
Like the Boy Scout phrase is "be prepared."
Yeah. That's good. Yes.
The worm crawled phrase the apple.
Phrase. So we're looking for more of a part of speech. So with phrase, we're going to talk about it just as a group of words, pretty much. So actually, everybody, will you get out your vocabulary sheets, and we're going to start. We're going to get some new definitions here. All right. So we're going to start with noun phrase. So you guys can copy. There are four main things here. You guys can copy down on your sheets what I have here.
Okay.
So first, a noun phrase is a group of words. So that takes in the word phrase, right? A group of words which functions as a noun. Alright, you got that one? Alright, I'll give you a little more time if you need it. The second one, this is how we figure out what a noun is, or a noun phrase is. It's a noun with the addition of all its determiners, its complements, and its modifiers. Do you have any questions so far?
Those are two different definitions of it.
So this is a combination. So this all will equal this.
Okay.
All right. So these are different parts of the definition. All right. Third is the fact that it can act as a subject or an object. And the fourth goes right along with that. These two kind of work together. It's kind of a trick. You can replace a noun phrase with a pronoun. So, this is a lot of information. Does everybody have that copy down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spiders.
Okay, good. All right, so this is how we define, this is how you can identify a noun phrase. So that's a pretty big definition. Do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, I don't know what determiners are.
Okay, so determiners are, it should be on your vocabulary sheet, so we would learn this, we would have learned this previously. Okay, so just a couple quick examples, like the fat old dog. The is a determiner, fat is an adjective, old is also an adjective, and then the dog is your noun. Okay. Next up, we're gonna do verb phrases. And if you'll copy this also on your vocabulary sheet. Okay, a verb phrase. There are two different kinds. We have a broad definition and a more narrow definition. So actually, there's just two here. So the broad definition. Oh man. Broad definition is basically a predicate. So we talked earlier about how sentences have subjects and predicates. So subject is basically your noun phrase, and predicate is basically your verb phrase in this broad definition. So in the narrow definition, though, we have just the verb plus its I can't pronounce this word, auxiliaries. So auxiliaries is another hard word, which we'll talk about more next time. We have that broad definition and the narrow definition. Do you guys have any questions yet? This is kind of a lot. So an example. So we talked about the old fat dog earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
The predicate for that sentence might be lumbered down the hill, right? And in the terms of the verb phrase, in the broad terms, lumbered down the hill would be the entire verb phrase, while just lumbered would be the narrow definition of a verb phrase. Okay, so we're going to do some practice as a class now. I'm going to write a couple of sentences up here on the board, and we're going to figure them out together. All right. So the first one. Let's see. The owner of the blue car should have been paying better attention. Alright, so we've got a nice long sentence here. Alright, so I'll just show you with this first sentence, I'll show you what I'm expecting to do. So, first we're going to look for the noun phrase, alright? So, the main noun in this sentence.
Car.
Oh, that's a good guess. So, actually, we're going to be looking at who's doing the action in this sentence. Can you guys tell? So, I'll just start with this.
Owner.
Perfect. Yes. The owner is the main subject of the main noun in this sentence. And so this here, the owner of the blue car, is going to be your noun phrase. Alright? And in the so the broad definition of verb phrase, your verb phrase is going to be the entire rest of the sentence. But in the narrow definition of verb phrase, we're going to be looking at should have been paying. So, should have been are all your auxiliaries, right? And paying is your main verb. Okay, so that's our.
What is better attention? Nothing in the narrow sense?
In the narrow sense, it would just be a different part that we're not going to talk about today.
Broad sense is included.
Sorry?
Is it included in the broad sense?
It is included in the broad sense, yeah. Okay, so that was our first sentence. Now, the next sentence, the 2 cars probably should not have been in that spot. Okay, so we have this accident here. All right, so I'm going to ask Michael, why don't you come up and show us what you think the noun phrase of the sentence is?
I think cars is the main noun.
Perfect.
And the 2 cars is the noun phrase.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much. You can sit down. All right. Would you like to come up and try to find the verb? So tell me first what the broad verb phrase is.
The rest of the sentence?
Yep. And then tell me what you think the narrow verb phrase is, in the smaller sense.
Turns out this is actually really difficult.
I know. Harder than you would
So,
expect.
The verb, I feel like, is...
Yeah, so let's find the main verb.
I don't remember what verb it is. We should not have been in.
In that spot.
I honestly want to say it's in. I've been in engineering class for a very long time.
It's all right.
I'm quite nervous.
I
honestly
think it's probably being.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't know if I knew that. I'm serious.
Sorry.
Okay.
Apparently I'm not a fabulous
Have
teacher.
been in is a
So,
narrow phrase?
in that spot is actually a prepositional phrase, which we'll
Okay.
talk about later. So, the main verb here is been.
Been.
Yeah.
Is that the entire verb phrase?
No, so that's just the main verb, so maybe underline that one. All right, good. So, and then the auxiliaries are here. Should, not, have, and been. So been is the main verb, and these are
Okay.
all...
It's the worm crawled in the apple.
Exactly,
So
very
that's
good.
the preface, okay. That's the rest of it, so okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, great job. Thanks, guys. Okay, so, all right, in your notes. Okay, now we're gonna do a little bit of partner work. So, in your notes, I want both of you to write 2 sentences, at least 5 words long, and I want you to have both a noun phrase and a verb phrase in your sentence. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so 2 sentences each, and then you'll come together and you'll talk about it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask each other, and I'll be walking around the room. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. All right, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah. Each phrase has to be 5 words, you said?
No,
a
just the
sentence?
entire sentence. So it
Okay.
doesn't have to be super long. Just, I want you to have more than 1 word in each phrase, okay?
Okay. I'm having a hard time coming up with verb phrases. How would I turn this into a verb phrase? That's all I have is a verb.
That's a good question. So,
Just by adding an adverb, is that part of the
yeah, you could add an adverb.
ruefully?
Right, so why don't you guys share what you have so far, and then I'll have you come up and write your sentence on the board. You can choose one of your sentences and write it up on the board, and we'll discuss it together.
Okay.
Okay, so you talk together. All right, so will you guys choose one of your sentences and come put it up on the board?
Yes.
So now that you've written up your sentences, will you each mark So mark your main noun, your main verb, your noun phrase, and your verb phrase. All right, perfect, guys. All right, you guys can sit down. Thanks. All right, well, does anybody have any questions? So it looks like you've got it pretty well down.
You get it right?
Yeah, you guys both got it perfectly.
So even an object is part of a verb phrase?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
So, any questions?
I think it makes perfect sense to me now.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.